The First Estate was made up of the Roman Catholic clergy, about 1% of the population. The clergy did not pay taxes and did not answer to the same laws as the common people. They owned about 10% of the land, which made money off of rent.
The Second Estate, made up of 2% of the population, was the nobility. They paid few taxes and held key positions in government and military. They lived on country estates as well.
The Third Estate made up 97% of the population. At the top were the bourgeoisie, who were city-dwelling merchants, factory owners, and professionals. They had no role in government, and some were highly educated and rich. Next were the artisans, who were shoemakers, carpenters, bricklayers, dressmakers, and laborers. If they had no work, then they would go hungry. Next were the sans-culottes. They were also known as those without knee breeches. They wore long pants in contrast to the tight knee-length breeches of the nobility. Peasants farmed the nobles' fields and paid rent and 10% of income to the church.
In Paris, what helped lead to the French Revolution?
Well, there are numerous things. You had social unrest because of a severe tax system that penalized the poor and didn't tax the nobility nor the clergy. You had the Enlightenment, which was the Age of Reason, which was the studies of Voltaire, of Thomas Paine, of Hobbes, of Jefferson, and you also had the American Revolution, which inspired the French Revolution. You had the American Revolution throughout the monarchy of Great Britain. The ironic thing about the French Revolution was that it was the first time that a monarchy had been overthrown by its people. So whereas the American Revolution just threw them out, threw the king of England out, the French Revolution, they threw the monarchy out. But the social unrest, the massive debt, the bankruptcy that France incurred was partially caused by the American Revolution because they financed it. And you also had, when they overthrew the monarchy, when they overthrew Louis XVI, 10 years later, he was replaced by an emperor, by Napoleon. So they really never got what the American Revolution got, which was a representative republic government, which still stands today.
The National Assembly eliminated the privileges of the First Estate. They also wrote the Declaration of the Rights of the Man and of the Citizen in 1791. Louis sent troops to Versailles to protect himself. The people supplied the National Assembly with troops.
You could say that Napoleon came out of nowhere. Truth is, he was born in Corsica, but in terms of nowhere, his family was not a well-known family or anything like that, no high rank. But he did survive through the French Revolution by siding with the right people, so it was a good choice on that front. And then he entered the military and climbed extremely quickly, so it's just unbelievable. This diminutive man of 5'1" or 2" or something like that, he climbed the ranks, and at age 26 became the head of the French military in France. So France had gone under 10 years almost of chaos after the revolution, and then came this man. And so a very young man became leader of France in 1799. By 1802, they made him a leader for life. which again is unbelievable for such a young man. And then by 1804, he had conquered and taken a lot of Europe already and had become emperor. And he did that pretty dramatically in a place that's well known, so the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, and with the Pope present. And defying tradition, he took the crown himself and put it on his own head.
After conquering much of Europe, Napoleon tried to claim Russia.
And what they didn't expect was the tactic that the Russians used, and that they just simply retreated. They disappeared. And so he kept going deeper and deeper and deeper into Russia, and by the time he moved all the way to Moscow, so much time had gone by that now there was a huge concern of winter, which was the ultimate weapon the Russians had. That was the beginning of the downturn or turn against Napoleon as the leader of France. And by 1814, he abdicated and was exiled. And that would have been the ending to the chapter. Unbelievably, he rose again from exile. This time he was able to get back onto the continent from his island exile and raise a number of troops to one that followed him. And next thing you know, he was back on as leader of France. And this was only for 100 days, they called the 100-day campaign. He was able to take back the reins and gain the fear of all of Europe again. But this time Europe was waiting, and they were better prepared, and they fought hard. He made an attempt to take and confront the British and the Germans in Belgium. That was the famous Battle of Waterloo.
After Waterloo, Napoleon was exiled to St. Helena. He never rose again, and he died 6 years into his exile.
Oh my God, Miller.
Ironically, is still a mess. You get it?
Alex, stop. You ready?